Hello, parents. Jimmy Needham here. Let me begin with a confession. I have spent years now reading books about the Trinity. Some were helpful, for sure. Some were confusing. There were a lot of those. And a few of them made me feel like I needed a couple extra seminary degrees, a couple calculators, possibly an app. The thing is, the Trinity can be a really difficult thing to explain, right? You know this. And if it's difficult for adults to explain, imagine what it's like for our kids to get their minds around this thing. That's exactly why I wrote my new book, The God Party. This book is my attempt to help children understand one of the most important truths in the entire world: who God is. Kind of a big deal. The story begins when Millie receives a mysterious invitation in the mail. Naturally, the real bad guys, they immediately stick their noses into her business, because that's what they do. The invitation says that she's been invited to something called the God Party. And she discovers that it actually came from none other than the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Which raises a pretty obvious question. Well, who are they? Or is it, who are he? Who is he? What exactly is the Trinity? Now, here's what I love about this story. Instead of throwing a bunch of complicated theological words at kids, the book walks them through a simple but incredibly important distinction. God is one what and three whos. He's one divine being, eternally existing as the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now, before any theologians start watching this video and they're sweating, don't worry. We don't stop there. The story also helps children understand what the Trinity is not, which involves more than a little ridiculousness in the book. But throughout all the antics, and there's plenty of them, children are learning about what and who our triune God is. He is one God who exists as three persons, and all of them are fully God. So now, what's in it for kids? Well, first off, it's fun. This story, like the last two stories, is packed with jokes and ridiculous illustrations and gags and all the nonsense you've come to expect from this cast of characters. Kids are going to laugh. They're going to enjoy the adventure, and hopefully they're going to want to read it again. That would be great. But underneath all of the humor, they are learning a profound truth about God. Something, frankly, that I haven't found in any other kid's book out there on the Trinity. And here's what it is. Because God is three distinct persons in one being, it means that God has always been in community with himself. Think about that. Before there were stars, before there was oceans or dinosaurs, or before there were people, the Father, Son, and Spirit were enjoying perfect love and fellowship together. It was a party. You might even call it, wait for it, a God party. In this book, kids discover something amazing. God didn't create you because he was lonely or because he needed worker bees. He made you so that you could join in on the fun and love and happiness that has been going on in himself for eternity. He made you so that you would come to the God party too. What a great truth for kids to discover. Okay, so now what's in it for parents? Well, honestly, this book gives parents a great way to talk about the Trinity without immediately wanting to pull their hair out. Right? The Trinity is one of the most important doctrines in Christianity, but many parents feel super intimidated by it, and for obvious reasons. And this story provides categories, language, and illustrations that make those conversations easier. Parents can use the book to explain the difference between God's being, what, and God's persons, who. They can discuss who the Father, Son, and Spirit are. But more importantly than even that, they can help children see why the Trinity actually matters. This isn't just a doctrine to memorize. It's a loving, joyful party that God is inviting us into. And finally, one of my favorite features of this book is what's in the back of it. You're going to find conversation starters right here in the back of this book. Trinity discussion questions, some fun true and false exercises that help kids review what they've learned. I even have a section in the back that includes kind of key Trinity texts from Scripture so families can continue the conversation together long after story time is over. Those resources help move the book from being simply a bit of entertainment to a tool for discipleship. And that's really my hope. My prayer for the God Party is that children and parents would walk away understanding what it means that God is a Trinity. But even more than that, that they would hear this invitation. Our God, who has been in a loving, joy-filled party for all eternity, is inviting you to join in on the fun of knowing Him. The Father planned it, the Son paid our entrance fee, and the Spirit invites us in. I hope that you and your family will say yes to that invite.